environment, and whereas the city of Easley rejects discrimination on the basis of race, religion, color, sex, national origin, disability, or familial status in the sale, rental, or provision of other housing services, and whereas discriminatory housing practices undermine the strength and vitality of South Carolina and its citizens, and whereas fairness is the foundation of our way of life and reflects the best of our traditional American values, and whereas April is recognized nationally as Fair Housing Month, and now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor, City Council of Easley, South Carolina, hereby designate April 2022 as Fair Housing Month in the city of Easley.
Thank you.
Call for question.
Call for question. All in favor of this resolution, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Item D, resolution number 2022-03 to approve 6 projects to be funded from the general fund lost revenue. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to bring it to the table.
Second.
Second. Jimmy?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I'm basically going to cover the attachment A to the resolution and then touch on the resolution just a little bit. So these are the 6 projects that come recommended to council from the ARPA committee. We have 3 ARPA committee members. They were asked to score 31 projects on a scale from 10, which is the highest score, to 1, which is the lowest. And below are the top projects based on those combined scores, plus 1 additional project, which is Alice Park. The city has sufficient revenue from the remaining balance of the $5 million transferred into the general fund to pay for these 6 projects. If it uses Project 5, which is the loan repayment forgiveness for disadvantaged residents, to fund Alice Park at $35,000, and the remaining balance of $682,334.42 as contingency for projects 1 through 4. Projects 1 through 4. Project 1 was Parks and Recreation, Hayden Park. That was recommended at $500,000 or $500,000. That basically is for a storm water issue, restoring the stream, making the park aesthetically pleasing. The Parks and Recreation Department secured a grant for the basketball court. The grant for the tennis and pickleball courts has been submitted, and the park could be linked to Fruit Mountain via a Doodle Trail extension sometime in the future. That was number 1, ranked number 1. Number 2 was another Parks and Recreation project. That's Brushy Creek Greenway. It was estimated cost would be $2 million. This trail will help to enhance alternative transportation access with multi-generational routes by linking JB Red Owen Sports Complex to Pearson Road, while working toward the goal to eventually link with the Doodle Trail. This project is set by guidelines required by South Carolina DOT due to the extensive nature of the land and previously obtained grant money. Property acquisitions have been signed. Bids are due May the 6th. I mentioned that earlier. Project number 3, senior citizen facilities renovations and contribution. That was a $300,000 project. These funds will be used to fund improvements to support rehabilitation activities and daily programs at the YMCA for senior citizens, a demographic subgroup disproportionately impacted by COVID-19. Meals on Wheels will oversee the operations for seniors. This monetary contribution represents the city's part of an overall collaborative effort between the City of Easley, YMCA, and Meals on Wheels in support of senior citizens. Project number 4, West End Hall renovation reimbursement. That was an $800,000 project. These funds will be used to accommodate United Way, Pickens County School District, Foothills Playhouse Theater, and also the room that can be rented for family reunions and class reunions. Drawings have been generated for the renovations, and a sewer line has been installed almost in an emergency fashion. Project number 5 was the loan repayment forgiveness for disadvantaged residents, which would be converted to a contingency fund for the other 4 projects and also fund the last one. These funds will be used to repay the city for outstanding loans made with federal dollars to disadvantaged residents, low-income households, for improvements to dwellings. Low-income households have been proven to be a vulnerable demographic subgroup during the COVID-19 pandemic. If approved by council, these revenues will be used as a contingency, as I mentioned before. The last project is another Parks and Rec project, Alice Park, and it's an electrical system replacement at $35,000 estimate. Repairing the electrical system in the park will allow baseball tournaments and games at night. The park is currently losing revenue because the field cannot be used to its full potential. Is there anything I missed, Director Short, regarding the Parks and Rec
No, sir, I think you did.
projects?
I think it's important to note the timeline to the restoration project. This timeline started out in 2010 with the bike. If you go back to the city of Easley's bike pedestrian master plan, that's one of the major purchasings of the Brush Creek Greenway. We did secure grant funding from DOT in 2014. We paid out for this design consulting fees, but we are obligated to finish that project through that grant. But the flip side, well, that's about to be this thing. I think that's the longevity of the project.
So in short, we have a total of 6 projects. One of the projects, which was the loan forgiveness project, would be used, converted to contingency to fund the other projects and fully fund Alice Park. You had any questions about any of these that I can try to answer?
I don't have a question per se, but I'm on the ARPA committee, and it's no secret that I've had concerns about the loan repayment forgiveness line item. You know, I feel confident in the other line items. And it's not that I'm totally against considering this particular project or line item possibly in the next round, but as I mentioned in the work session, from a financial responsibility standpoint, I feel like it needs, we need to take a step back and look at this closer. And based on that, I'd like to make a motion to remove the loan repayment forgiveness item, again, for more discussion and evaluation.
And I will second it.
We have a motion and a second. Vote.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We will cast a vote to remove that. All in favor?
Well, do we have discussion?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, there should be discussion, I believe.
Discussion. I would like to, please. I'm the chair of that committee, and me and my colleague Ryan disagree on it. We talked about this, and these are not houses that are $500,000, $600,000, $7,000 houses, $400,000, even $300,000. These are houses for people who are very innocent. They got this money. It came from the federal government. It does not belong to the city of Eden. It came from the federal government, was supposed to be given to these residents as a gift to maintain their houses where they would be livable, plumbing, electrical, roof, floors, where their toilet could sit in the floor and not fall through the house. These loans, of course, were supposed to be given to these people, but our forefathers seemed that they would charge interest on it. These loans are very old. They are probably third, I don't know this for a fact, I'm guessing, it's probably the third and fourth mortgage on these houses. It would cost more to foreclose on some of these homes than it would forgive the loans, and we'd be stuck with them. What would we do with them? We'd have to pay to tear them down or something then. But these people can't afford to pay this. COVID hurt them more. These people are old. These loans are 20-something years old. They were old, disabled at that time. They're low income. And this right here is the only way that we're not going to end up having to tear these houses down, probably, and dispose of them, to to ever get our money back that we put into that. And this money can be used as a contingency to do some of these other projects, that these things that need fixing now, like the ballpark, $35,000. There's almost $750,000 to get started on that, plus other projects we could be fixing. So I stand just the other way. I think we should forgive these loans and use this money as a contingency to start on these other projects.
Thank you.
In reading of the minutes from the ARPA meeting in January, it was reported that the grants were turned into loans to upgrade homes. Of course, that was done under previous administration and before most people here were involved. However, there are varying situations. I'm not on the ARPA committee, but at the January meeting, comments were made that there are people that may be living in the homes that don't own the homes. Some homes may be in a dilapidated state. And I believe as an elected official, we have a fiscal responsibility and accountability to thoroughly assess the situation. If the ultimate outcome is to do this, then that's fine, but I do believe it needs to be thoroughly vetted. And I believe that you mentioned, and has been mentioned, that there are still people that are coming in and paying on those loans. So if that is in process, then